What do you want? I'm in the middle of a podcast. Leave me alone.
This guy who really is, I think, a bad guy. Russell, I think you are a bad guy.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what the truth.
I don't want him knowing where I live.
You can hate Russell, but one thing you cannot take from Russell is his ability to play that game.
I ain't finished playing just yet.
Welcome to the Russell Hantz Show. Today we will be talking about 3 episodes of Survivor. Well, actually 3 hours of Survivor and 2 episodes with Karyl. Karyl, how's Kentucky?
Cold, and I hate it.
Well, it snowed over here in Texas.
I know it's messed up. Texas has had some really weird weather in the last few months.
Snowing in Texas. That's crazy. So,
Messed up.
we've had... What are you thinking so far? Like, last episode, the 2-hour episode, I thought it was getting a little bit better at the end. You know, it started getting a little bit more interesting. Then finally we have Joe going home. But this episode to me...
Finally.
Yeah, finally. Well, I knew it was happening. I knew it was happening, and we'll get into more in detail with him. And then this last episode here, we started getting a little bit more exciting, but we'll get into that a little later too.
Okay.
So, the 2-hour episode, let's talk about that for a little while.
Okay.
Who was the first person that went home? It was it JP?
It was Desi. Desi went home.
No. We're talking about last episode was...
Oh, JP.
JP
went home.
JP. While he was playing in one of the challenges, I was like, literally, I seen somebody at the corner of my eye. I was like, "Who's that?" Before he went home. So
I know
he's almost invisible.
I know.
The entire
I felt
season.
The same way. I felt the same way. Same way.
I didn't think that they gave him any justice with the editing.
Me either. Because I thought the same thing. Because I kind of forgot about him there for a little bit.
Yeah. So at the beginning of that episode, we have actually Lauren at the challenges. She wins another challenge.
Yeah. Woo, Lauren.
I was kind of shocked that she won another challenge. She just,
Especially with her feet. Oh my goodness, who would have thought Lauren would win?
No telling what she can do with them feet. Lord.
Oh, Russell.
She's losing that weight. She knows how to use her feet.
I know. She's looking kind of hot.
She knows how to use them feet. I never actually went on a date and said, "Hey, how's your feet action?"
How's your feet? So you don't have a foot fetish?
No, but I bet you that anybody that had a foot fetish was loving them some of that. It was like, I wonder.
Oh
what
yeah,
she
you know they're following her now on Twitter and everything. They're like, oh gosh, that's the hot girl with the hot feet.
I wouldn't call her a hot girl. I mean, I'm not gonna say she's butt ugly or nothing. But I mean, you dress her up, you know. You put some makeup on her. You throw her out there. You put a dress on her, and then she's okay. You know, we real here. If you ugly, you ugly. You ain't nothing that nobody can do about that.
Yeah, but she's not ugly. She's not ugly. I've seen some ugly people. She's not ugly.
Sure. No, she's good. I mean,
she has some nice feet though.
She's got her feet action going on. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
I was very impressed. I would have never thought she'd be the one to win that challenge. I really thought she'd be one of the first to go. But you know what? With her losing that weight and losing that gut, she was able to maneuver those feet crazy.
What happens out there? Because I was a fat cow myself. You lose all that weight, and then you get faster. You get stronger. You get it. It seems like you're getting weaker because you're so weak. You're not eating. You're not sleeping good.
Right.
But you drop 40, 50 pounds out there, then you feel like you can do challenges a lot easier, and them feet.
I think that would be a really good diet. I do.
What, not eating at
people
all?
with a lot of money, just doing a Survivor diet. Just like I can imagine, like people like
like
with a
have
lot
a
of money
camp.
paying to
Like
go.
maybe we could do like
on
we could have like a camp,
Yeah,
survivor camp,
Yeah.
and then it wouldn't cost us hardly any money at all because you don't have to feed them.
You don't have to feed them or provide them any kind of shelter.
Right. We could just rent some land somewhere.
Hey, I would sign up and do it myself.
I bet you a lot of people would sign up. Actually, you have to pay for the doctor, just in case somebody goes out, because they would
Yeah,
quit
have a
though.
doctor.
People would quit.
Yeah, especially like because you would have to offer them an out
Right.
in the real world.
Yeah. So right at the beginning of this episode, we have Mike and Joe, and they're acting up. They're actually stirring up shit on purpose, and
They are.
And I'm not so sure if that's a good strategy at this point. Maybe if you're top 5, then you start acting up a little bit to be able to have the argument that, hey, nobody's going to vote for me at the end. I'm an asshole. So why not take me to the end? Once you believe it or not, you have to go pretty far before you start thinking that. Like Joe,
Right.
why, they got rid of Joe in this episode. We'll talk more about that. But, why would they do that if they're thinking, well, I can beat Joe at the end? You get a lot of people in the game that's actually playing the game. They're starting to play the game. And they have arguments to why they should win the game. So if you just keep a bunch of good players in there, and they go off and they get rid of, that other guy that was winning challenges all the time, or winning or getting close to winning, they were threatened by him. What was it? Not Devin. I forgot his name already. So they're threatened by him, and they vote him out because
JP?
Who?
Was it JP?
No, JP. But no, not JP.
I don't remember. Actually, I can't remember the guy's name either. It's pretty bad.
Anyway, so they get rid of these people that they feel threatened when it comes to winning challenges. But how about this? How about getting rid of people that you feel threatened that's going to beat you at the end of the day? How about that part? Because Sandra's never won one challenge. Not one. She won twice. So it doesn't take winning challenges. Matter of fact, you have a better shot at that game if you do not win challenges.
Right.
Because once you start winning challenges, you become a threat. So if you want to read the Handbook of Russell, it would be only win that challenge if you know that you're going home to save yourself.
Right.
If you don't think you're going home and if you're okay, you shouldn't win a damn thing. Because once you start winning it, they're going to be like, okay, this person can win every challenge. Right. Let's get rid of him early before he makes a run at 5 and 6 challenges in a row. That's why people like Ozzy will never win. Joe never win.
Right.
People,
And
and I'm talking about the other
this
Joe
season-
that's played before. But this Joe that's playing now, his style of play will never win the game. I didn't play like that. People say, "Oh, you was aggressive." I wasn't an aggressive player. I wasn't a villain to their face. Joe and Mike now is hollering and getting all up in Chrissy's business and trying to get her all pissed off and riled up. That doesn't help. He comes back from camp and he tries to act like that move was his move. Just being cocky instead of being humble. Because cockiness is going to get you voted out.
Right, and sometimes the best thing to do is just kind of sit back and not say anything.
That's always the best thing to do. Just, recently, just like what happened with Joe and Chrissy, best thing to do is for Joe to sit there and not say anything. Matter of fact, he should have been humble to his friend that's supposed to be his friend and say, hey, I apologize. I'm just trying to play the game. But that's easier said than done. Because I've been there. I felt what they are feeling. And a lot of times I stayed there and I didn't say a damn thing. I just
And I know it's so easy to say you do something when you've not been there and experienced what it's like. It's so easy for everybody to critique on this side of the fence.
When you start doing stuff like that, like Mike and Joe, to me, when they started doing that, I immediately thought that when they start trying to aggravate everybody else, and they're at the bottom of everything, I thought they gave up. It felt like they gave up. Because that's what people do when they give up. They try to aggravate everybody else on their way out. It's just not good gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think Joe probably thought he was going home. I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I was hoping, honestly, that he wasn't. I was hoping he'd stick around, but it was obvious that he wasn't because he was aggravating way too many people. Way too many people,
right.
to be able to stick around. You knew, to be honest with you, if I was there and Chrissy was around, I don't know. It would not be a good situation.
Right.
It'd be very hard to keep my mouth shut.
So they go to a reward, and on this reward, you have Lauren,
and French fries and beers.
Devin, was it? I don't know what it was, but
Ashley and Devin.
It was Ben, Devin, Lauren, and Ash. It was when they sitting there and they're like, okay, let's submit this, which is a good plan. They're sitting there, they get letters from home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So all of a sudden they get letters from home. So what happens is the emotion from the letters from home kicks in. And, hey, guys, we do this. We just been through this together. People are crying. They're holding hands. They all crying together. And, they feel at that moment, and I've been here too, you feel at this moment that this is tight. We're Final Four. Let's do this. Just us.
Right.
Well, that's how you feel at that moment. But things change when the game changes.
Oh, yeah, day to day, I'm sure.
So they felt like that, and they all, sitting there and kumbaya and reading letters and I love you and all this bull crap. And this was very interesting to me, and I don't know if anybody caught this, and I'm sure it's going to ruffle a few feathers out there when I say this, but when Joe does his confessional, because that's what he just did, his confessional, he's walking back from his confessional, that's what he says, and he stumbles across the idol, okay? Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, you're not allowed to go anywhere around their confessionals, ever. Once they do their confessionals, you have to stop. You can't go anywhere in that vicinity. So when he found that idol, he was by himself, nobody around even looking because they're not even allowed to. And on the path that they take you, he walks down the path that they take him, and he finds an idol.
Oh, wow.
Now, a lot of people were saying that they showed me where the idol was. Now, that's just the theory that a lot of people, they couldn't understand how I was finding idols without clues. Well, there's a big difference. When I played, nobody ever in the history of the game found an idol without a clue. It never was done. I'm the one that invented that. Well, they were even wondering, what are you doing? They would ask me, what are you doing? Like, what? They were confused about the whole thing. I just made the episode completely change production and how they were gonna direct that episode or that whole series.
Right.
They changed
a wrench into it.
Yeah, all the writing and the planning they were doing, everything changed because they had to implement this crazy, finding idols without clues into the game. Just like that. And they were confused when I was finding it. So I was finding them legit. Now, I can't say everybody in the history of the game found idols legit. But they wasn't even knowing that I was going to look. They wasn't prepared. They wasn't prepared to have it all written down and say, "Oh, we're gonna make Russell look for idols without clues, and we're gonna make sure he finds them." That wasn't in the script. I made the script. So now we have Ben finding an idol on his way back from a confessional. I thought that was a little weird how all that was, how when he found that idol, how it all panned out. Because that idol was at their, when they, on their reward. You would think it would be, right at where everybody could actually have a chance to find it. Not where you're walking back from your confessional and all of a sudden you find it. Now, I wouldn't think that production thinks Ben is that interesting to actually help him find an idol, because he's not. I don't think that he. No, he's starting to play a really good game, but he's not. I wouldn't call him good TV. Would you?
No, I wouldn't. And I wouldn't. And I hate to say that, as much as I despise Chrissy, I guess she is good TV.
Chrissy's good.
I cannot stand her.
Chrissy's better TV.
I can't stand her.
I can't either, but she's better TV.
If I could punch her in the face, I would punch her in the face.
Golly.
I'm not even a violent person, but she makes me want to be violent.
You sound like a violent person.
I'm not a violent person.
So what do you think about that? About him finding the idol like that? Did you not see anything?
Very suspicious.
When he found it, you didn't think, wait, what? He's just walking down that trail and bam, it's right there? I mean, the rock with the writing on it? I guess that's how they do it now.
Like, look under this rock.
And it's funny how they do idols. It's funny how they make them now. Ours used to be really professional. Well, they don't do that.
It's like a piece of shit.
Well, the reason they do it like that now is because they want people, they don't want you to know if it's real or fake. That hasn't came to pass yet, but I can guarantee you if that was an island full of legends and somebody gave them a necklace full of rocks, they would be like that's fake.
Exactly, right.
So
right.
It would be a question, and Survivor wants that question to always be there.
Right. I'd like to see a few seasons without idols, to be honest with you.
Of what idol? Oh, without an idol.
Any. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be on. I don't want to be on that season. You see, idols for me help me.
Well, yeah, of course they do. Of course they do.
Well, you have to know how to play them. Got to know how to play them.
Yeah.
It's like a basketball player. He might not be able to shoot free throws, but he can hit 3-pointers. If he can't hit 3-pointers, then he can't play the game. So that idol thing is a big part of my game. If I can't find idols and I can't play them the right way they're supposed to be played, then I can't play the game.
Right, but I think that probably depends on your situation that you're in. If you're willing just to only play it for yourself, or if you actually trust other people to play it for them, I think it just depends.
Yeah, and actually, Ben didn't actually find the idol. He found that map. He found the map to where the idol was. Mm-hmm. Remember?
Yep, I remember him saying something about his wife.
Yeah, his wife helped him find it.
The map. Yeah.
I don't know. Right here, I just put shady shit.
Shady shit.
So I don't know. I mean, I respect the game of Survivor, and they're legit people out there. The producers, everybody's legit. So I just thought it was weird how he was coming back from a confessional and he found it then.
And the thing is,
and maybe he wasn't. Maybe they edited to where he was just walking around right after the confessional. I don't know. I just wanted to point that out.
Well, I think it's neat to hear your perspective on things, because since you played it 3 times, you notice things. Because I've sat there and watched episodes with you, and you'd pick up on things that I would be watching the same exact thing at the same exact moment and not pick up on things. But you would pick up on things because you played it. You know certain things to look for and all that. So I like hearing your perspective on things.
Yeah. So the next challenge they had, it was weird how this group of 4 just finally submitted something amazing. They did a challenge, and if they don't do the challenge, Chef gives them a little option that they can eat all this peanut butter and chocolate. And Devin, Ben, and Lauren sit out.
Lauren, yeah.
So they
I
sit
know,
out.
that's insane to me. That's insane to me.
Would you ever, at any point, at any
No.
time, ever sit out a challenge for
I
food?
would not. I would not, because the whole reason I would want to go on there too, is to see how well I could do. I'd want to challenge myself.
But you got.
I wouldn't want to set out of a challenge.
Look, the thing that people,
and I love peanut butter.
and I know you wouldn't do, if you played, I know you wouldn't do this, because I know you as a competitor, and the thing is, you would go in trying to win every challenge, and that's not how you should play Survivor. You can't do that, or you will get voted out.
Right, but
Like
see,
Tony.
I probably
Tony
wouldn't.
didn't. Do you know Tony didn't win one challenge either? Like, they got several people in the game that's never won a challenge, not one. Sandra played twice. She's never won a challenge in anything.
Right. But see, now I wouldn't, because of, hearing your perspective.
You
on
have
things
to
and
be
just
able to.
learning things.
Let me tell you something. If you're strong enough not to win it when you know you can, that's even stronger to me. If you're strong enough to play the game, let's say it's Ozzy and nobody knew it was Ozzy. If he's strong enough to step down every single time and lose a challenge early when he knows he can win it all, that's a strategic player right there. And that takes some strength. It takes some strength to do that.
If you can just not let your pride get the best of you.
That's the thing. You have to have character to do that. And it sounds weird because you're saying, wait, you have to have character to quit? Hey, this is a game, and it's a game for $1 million. Yes. You have to have, if you know you can win it. Now, people like Sandra that says, maybe I lost them all on purpose. It was my strategic plan. No, fat ass. You lost it because you cannot win challenges. That's why you lost it. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
You know the only reason, just a little side note, the only reason I say that about Sandra and call her that, because she said that about me over and over. So I just repeat what she says.
I know. I remember seeing your own Twitter wars.
My Twitter war? Twitter war with Sandra? It ain't much of a war.
I used to crack up seeing them.
I don't know. I seriously did not recognize her last season. And I'm not even joking. I was like, who is that? Oh, that's
Who
Sandra.
is
I'm like,
that?
what? That's not Sandra. Whoever that is, ain't Sandra.
Oh my God, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I remember right there around that time period, right there, when she went back and she was playing. But last time, I remember seeing your all's back and forth. It was funny.
Yeah, and I'm not Mr. Olympia right now myself. I'm a fat ass myself. So you see, that's the thing. You got to be able to know. If I can call myself a fat ass, I can call you a fat ass. Right?
Oh my God.
We just be a fat ass together. And we will, if you want to donate some money to our new idea of having an island, we don't have to pay for food. We don't have to pay for shelter. We just get a bunch of rich people, throw them out on an island, and they give us like a 50,000
we'll
a piece.
find a little island out in the middle of a swamp.
We'll do it in Louisiana.
Escape the island because, yeah. You can't swim away from it because of all the gators and stuff. So we'll find a spot.
It's funny on my notes.
You gotta stay on there to
Hell
lose
yeah.
weight. Otherwise your ass is gonna get eaten.
So on my notes, I put, who is JP?
Who is JP? Oh, poor JP. I do feel bad for him.
So Ashley
now,
wins
the next
this one.
challenge, though.
But
yeah,
Ashley wins
Ashley's
this
the next
challenge.
one, and she did really good. Oh,
She's
doing
starting
really
to.
good right now.
At first, I didn't like how Ashley was playing. They literally, this episode, you're starting to see some playing.
Yeah.
This last episode that was on. And Ashley, she started then about, she won the challenge. But then as soon as she won, you know how I think, I'm like, you better be careful, girl. You know what I mean?
Careful, girl. Yeah. Yeah.
So they at that tribal. Do you remember what happened with that tribal when JP gets voted out?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it because of Chrissy's face and everybody and a few other people's faces. I didn't know
Ryan
what was going
and
on.
Chrissy and JP, they all were clueless what just happened.
Yeah, I loved it. Oh my
How can you
God,
be
I
so
loved it.
clueless all the time on a game? For like every tribal council, you're clueless in a game for $1 million all the time. Like, I didn't know that was
Yeah.
going to happen. Really, like,
Oh, I loved it. It was
Guys.
priceless. Oh my God, I was.
you guys are
loving it.
playing the game of Survivor. Nobody is trustworthy now. Now we have everybody going after Ben. Ben was supposed to be the kingpin. Ben. You have Lauren.
Yeah.
You have Ashley. Is it Ashley? Everybody's going after Ben now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yep. What do you think about that, Miss
What
Karyl?
do I think about it?
Yeah.
What do I think about it? I don't know why everybody's going after Ben. I really don't think he's much of a threat, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think Ashley, though,
You don't think
everybody's
Ben's a threat?
underestimating her. No, not really.
Have you been watching the same season I'm watching?
Yeah, but I
Ben
think
will
they
win
need to concentrate
hands
more
down.
on Chrissy.
Ben,
No, Chrissy will win.
Nope. If Ben and Chrissy's up there, Ben's winning that game. Even Ashley was like, Ashley was like, I'll even vote for him.
You know what, though, Russell? I think it really depends on how many people Ben rubs the wrong way and how many people Chrissy rubs the wrong way. Because right now Ben is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way also.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to know how people are going to vote, I think.
Right.
I do.
I thought it was a dumb
Ashley,
move,
I think
though.
Ashley's more of a threat because Ashley is being underestimated.
Yeah, when they get
Right
rid
now.
of JP, that tribal, I thought it was a dumb move because Ryan had an idol in his pocket. You know?
Yeah.
And why? JP, he's nobody. He's literally nobody. Nobody knows who he is. And then
No,
again, they think he's going to go on a run and win challenges. They're stuck on that. This whole season was stuck on the physical
Challenges.
aspect. The very first person voted off was an Olympic athlete.
So,
They're
I know,
all
what
stuck
the
on
hell?
the physical aspect, and that's it. Oh, they
this
can
has-
win the challenges. Let's vote them out.
Yeah, this has been a very weird season when it comes to that.
And yet, once all that happens, Joe goes back to tribal, and there he goes again. And he's acting like that he did everything.
Yeah.
And then, I put this when he's, and I don't know what happens. So when he goes back to camp and he's acting like, oh, that was my deal. Acting like he was in control, and Ben was allowing him to act like that. I put, let's see how far that gets him. Because every once in a while, I'll write things to myself. And that's what I put. Let's see how far that gets him, acting like that.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Very next episode,
He got it. Yeah.
Joe got booted.
Yep.
And you know what Ron was doing the whole time? I don't know if you were... See, I look at things like that. Joe's acting like pompous and saying, acting like he was the one that did everything when he was just brought in as a puppet.
Right.
Ryan was telling them, hey, guys, great job. Great job.
Good job, yeah.
Instead of attacking them.
Right.
Yeah,
'Cause he
learn,
said he
guys.
wanted to attack
If you're
him.
about to play
He wanted to
Survivor,
attack him.
if you're about to play, listen to this podcast because take little notes. Those notes help.
Yeah.
If you
But
just
Ryan
get
wanted
backstabbed,
to.
if you just get backstabbed and you go back to tribal, don't go crazy. Just say, "Hey guys, great job. That was a great move by
That would
Ryan."
be my problem. See, if I played and I got backstabbed, it would just be. I just know me. It would be very hard for me to pull back.
Really?
It'd be very hard. Yeah, because I'm a very emotional person. I act on emotion a whole lot.
So
That's the only thing I would have to learn
Right.
not to do is act on emotion.
So we have a solid alliance of 4, supposedly, right? And and Joe goes home.
Joe goes home. Sorry, Joe.
Joe thought, and the crazy thing, this is the most comfortable I've ever seen him. And not because he said it. Before he's told Jeff that he thinks he's okay, I seen his posture. I was like, man, he's comfortable. Like, he is sitting there like he's A-okay. Again, everybody's surprised. Surprise! Yeah. You going home? Yeah. Like you don't... Yeah. It drives me crazy sometimes watching this show. That's why it does. Like, for instance, this episode. Now let's get into this episode that we just watched. You have Joe. You have Ben. I'm gonna just get right into this because this really aggravated me. You have Ben sneaking up on Lauren and them talking. Well, he hears his name and he knows something is fishy because as soon as he walks up, they all silent.
Oh,
like they're they're at mass or something. They just start saying.
Well, it doesn't take a very smart person to realize. If you hear your name and you walk up and all of a sudden they shut up, oh my God, come on.
So what Ben does is now Ben is starting to play the game. And he's been playing all the time, but he's really starting to play now because his ass is on the line and he knows it. So he goes and tells the other, the ones on the bottom, hey, let's do something. He starts, and I can guarantee you this went on for a while. And they're probably uncomfortable silences when they're around each other. So Ben knows. He knows he's in trouble. So he has to make a move. But the funny thing to me is when he tells Mike, then Mike goes back to his alliance, Devin and Lauren and them, and sits him down and says, hey, Ben's going after Lauren. And then they got a stupid, do you really have a shocked look on your face? Oh, what? He's going after me? What's going on here? Lauren's literally like, what's going on here? Lauren, you were going after him.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell why are you so surprised when you're going after him? Guys, you are the ones that broke that alliance, not Ben. Right. Ben is saving himself from you, Lauren, and Devin and Ashley.
Yeah.
They all broke the alliance. Ben found out, so Ben is now trying to play the game and stay in the game as long as and you know what Ben's best move is?
He's in survivor mode.
Ben's best move is to get rid of Lauren at this point. I
say that because I love her. But.
And I was saying Ben's best move is to get rid of Lauren when all this was going down. That's his only move at this point. Get rid of Lauren because Lauren is now gunning for him. Right? So
she was gunning heavy.
Now I played the game, and I played the game, and this happened to me before. I saved myself when 8 people voted for me with an idol that I found without a clue. Then immediately the girl that tried to vote me out said, he just stirred up a whole lot of hell is what he did. So then I'm thinking, what? So because I tried to save myself. Now, it's very confusing to me in a game like that why you're so confused when you're trying to stab somebody in the back and all of a sudden find that same knife in your back. How come that is so shocking to you? Now, you as a viewer, explain to me as a viewer of someone that didn't play the game how that makes sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. And Chrissy,
Willie was here when they were doing it. Willie was here while we was watching it.
Chrissy's the epitome of that right now.
Yeah, well, her too. But everybody this season. So Willie was here while I was watching, and he was like, "What are they expecting? What are they?" And I'm like, I can't. I had to press pause. I was like, and say what I had to say. That's when we need to do the live shows. Like, I had to press pause to get out what I needed to get out so I could get it out. Whether it doesn't even matter if anybody was here. I would have pressed pause and I would have did it to myself. You know, I need to get this out. Like, listen, you trying to stab him in the back, right? So he stabs you in the back instead, and you're shocked. I don't get it. It's very confusing for me.
Oh, that's good. That's good, though.
But it's confusing.
It
Those
is
type of
confusing.
people are bitter people by nature.
Yeah.
Those type of people, you do not want on a jury if they don't like you. Like Chrissy will not vote for Ben.
No.
Even though he's the best player.
Because, of course she
No, even
won't.
Devin,
My
they're
God.
playing. They're all playing now. Now, I'm not saying it was Lauren's best move, but she should have did it one vote earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When she thought about it. It was her best
Yeah.
move. She made the best move. Devin was they were deciding, and that was their best move to get rid of Ben. But they didn't do it then. You got that, and that was the mistake. When you think of great moves in that game, you have to attack them, and you have to make sure it's the right time. Everything has to be perfect. And that was the time to get rid of him, because all you have Joe and Mike sitting there literally by themselves. You have Ryan and Chrissy that just would go anywhere at this point.
Yeah.
And then you have 3 strong on that side. If you can pull one in, they should have got rid of Ben at that point, because at that point they had a strong 5, because Joe and Mike were so scared, they were even saying, oh, we sticking together. This 5 is solid. Right? Yeah. So that was the time to do it. Then they could have swung around and then got, why would you want to get Joe out in the first place? You probably can beat him at the end of the game. So you could have just dragged him along, because everybody's going to want Joe gone the whole time. So as long as he's there, he's that extra threat that you can convince, no, let's get rid of Joe instead of me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I don't know. They should have, but you know what? Until that episode, I didn't see Ben as a threat, though. I didn't.
No?
I didn't.
But now you do, right?
Yeah, of course I do. Especially, he kept that one, the idol to himself, didn't share it with anyone.
Didn't share it with anyone. Very smart move. Very smart move.
Right. But it is a smart move, but at the same time, he was the one who was preaching.
Right. No, he's really playing the game, though. That's him playing the game.
No. I'm definitely not disagreeing, but he played it really well. He would play the victim really well for such a long time, remember? Mm-hmm. And then in one tribal council, when he said, the only way you'll make it to the end is with trust.
Right.
And then, but at the same time, he's keeping that idol to himself.
Well, that's why.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
That's why when the knife gets stuck so deep, like it did Chrissy, then it's harder to forgive. And that's what happens in the game of Survivor. Now, when you become buddies, it happened with me with Jason. When you become buddies with somebody like that, and then they vote you out, they're not going to get your vote, because you were so close to them. Now it hurts even more that you vote them out. The best thing in that game is do not become buddy. Is
it possible, though? Is it possible?
No, it's possible.
I think sometimes I can go in there.
That's a double-edged sword, too. Right, that's a double-edged sword, because then they'll say, well, you didn't try to get to... That was literally something somebody said. You didn't try to get to know anybody. I'm not here to get to know anybody. So they say, oh, you didn't get to know anybody, or you got to know everybody too much, to where you stabbed us in the back. So it's damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah, I guess honestly, and each game is going to be unique. There's different people, different personalities in each game, so I guess that's what makes Survivor fun. You don't know how it's going to go. Because I would go in there not wanting to make friends and everything, but I noticed before he got voted out, before all that tribal happened, I noticed that Ben was starting to let the game to get the best of him. He's, that's why he was cocky towards Chrissy. That's why, he's starting to let that power of thinking that he's in control get the better of him. You have to be able to maintain that. He's basically doing the same stuff that Joe's doing at that point.
because you have to maintain it. Be more like Ryan. Ryan's like, oh, guys, great job, even though he's hurt inside.
Right.
Every
And
single
God
time
bless-
Ryan does that.
He's smart. He's smart.
And then look at it, it's
Poor
floating
little
along.
Pitiful thing. Yeah, he's literally just floating. He doesn't weigh 10 pounds.
That dude is little.
Oh, and that's one thing that I loved, coming up in this episode later on is when he finally gets to eat some food. I felt good for him. I'm not a big fan of Ryan, but I was at first. My opinion of him had changed. But
Yeah.
I started feeling really bad for him. He's so skinny.
So
oh my God.
we have the loved ones visit. And finally
Yes.
have the loved ones visit. Do you like the loved ones visit episodes?
I do. I was never a huge fan of him. Wasn't my favorite part of Survivor.
Because my
But
brother, Willie, was here and he
This season
said,
I liked.
he was here during all that, and he's like, why does everybody cry all the time? And I was like, look, dude, I understand that part because you're starving to death, you're uncomfortable, you're tired, you just feel more drained than you ever felt in your life, and then your mama walks around the corner, and not only that, you're beat physically, mentally you're broke down, you're lying every day. You're still lying, cheating, and stealing. You're doing things that you're not used to doing in your character. You get in that zone. You become someone that you're not. You become someone that you hate. And then your mom walks around the corner. So,
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
I know. Willie would be one of the first to break down if he was.
He would
playing
break
the game
down.
And your mama came out.
He played Big Brother.
Waterworks.
Yeah, he played Big Brother, and they kept the AC at 71.
Oh,
That's not my house. We keep it at 66 over here.
you keep it at 59.
59. I could if it would go that low.
Keep it at -30.
If it would go that low. So, the loved ones visit, and it's weird for me because I can remember when I had my loved ones visit that I did not want to get out of the game. I did not want my mom walking around that corner because it makes me human again. I wanted to stay King Russell. I wanted to stay. When Melanie came, I remember because the first season 19, we didn't have loved ones visit. We just got letters. We got screwed. Season 20, Heroes versus Villains, we got loved ones visits. So when she came around, I was so focused in the game. When she came there and I said, I'm doing it again. That's all I told her. I was like, and then Jeff's like, okay, tell us how you're feeling right now, Russell. Tell us how yeah, I'm happy to see my wife. I'm happy, but I'm playing this game. It didn't bother me at all. I could have went without a loved one's visit because it messes up with your psyche. You're down, you're up, you're down, you're up. You're doing all this villainous stuff. Then all of a sudden, you got to tell your mom that you burn all these socks, poured out everybody's water when they're dying of thirst. You had a fake story about your dog dying in Hurricane Katrina. That's pretty rough stuff when you think about it.
That would be rough. Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
The thing is, I deal through, this is what people don't understand. That story, first of all, came from some of my best friends in college. It literally happened to their brother. And I asked their permission to tell that story because I know the hardships of a hurricane. Believe me. We just had Hurricane Harvey, destroyed 75% of the city over here. So it happens all the time on a regular, every year or every 2 or 3 years we have a major hurricane. I've been dealing with that all my life since I was a baby. I've been in the South here all my life. So that story was, a buddy of mine's story, and it was the emotions to that's why I was able to tell it so well, because it was the emotions to everything I've ever felt during hurricanes.
Right.
So
Right.
it was our story. I went to the LSU football game after that. That's when they won the national championship. And I went to one of the games, and a fan came up to me and said, man, I really love that when you told the Katrina story. And it was somebody that was in St. Bernard Parish that it happened to. So I know my people. These are my people. I know my Southern people. I know their attitudes and how they feel. And I know what they're okay with and not okay with. And I know snowflakes and LA snowflakes and New York snowflakes. And they hate stories about dogs dying in hurricanes. And I knew I could get to them.
Right. But those people like that, they've already
try to get to
forgotten.
them.
Even people, even here in Kentucky, nobody even realizes that there's still thousands of people displaced down there in Houston.
There's hundreds of thousands.
Right, and they have no clue. So when I mention it, they're like, "Really?" I'm like,
"Still?"
Yeah, because there's no media coverage or anything on it.
They
at
have
all anymore.
hundreds of thousands of homes that are done. Nobody's even working because everybody's still waiting on insurance and this and that and paperwork and and some people they may owe on it and then they may not have insurance, so all of a sudden they can't pay their bill. Their bank is asking them to pay their bill, and they're staying in somewhere else for $1,700 a month. They got to pay their $2,300 a month bill here. They can't go to work because it's been flooded for months. So it's a major problem, and nobody's giving them a break.
Yeah, it is. And they are the forgotten. They are the forgotten. They're the forgotten.
And that's exactly why this podcast and my Patreon group, all this has been delayed. And trust me, I remember the ones that's sticking with me through this hardship. I have the 31 people left in the Patreon group's names in my mind, written down and everywhere else, because I'm going to remember that. Because right now, we are trying to help people in their homes right now. I'm so busy, it's crazy. So we're trying to get a bunch of podcasts in a row done, and I'm trying to fix these people's homes that can't, because that's what I do. I'm a contractor. So obviously I'm pretty busy. And there, all these different homes that we're doing where these people are paying tons of money to stay in a place, can't afford another month, coming up to me, can you please be finished by the end of this month? And I'm like, I order the windows, I order the doors, and it takes 3-4 months for everything to even come in. So because you have 1 million people ordering it all at the same time. So, the people that are leaving, because we have some people leaving the Patreon group, because obviously I'm not doing my episodes. We're going to have one coming out soon with Whining with Wine. And it's kind of upsetting because it's what we're going through down here. We're going through quite a bit. And they think that it's all over. You think that, that's a couple of months ago. What y'all? Really? I should send you pictures. They have the whole street, this one street that I'm working on, the whole neighborhood. What is that in that neighborhood, Karyl? You've been there. Every single house. They have, let's say they have 200 homes in that one little neighborhood. Mm-hmm. They have maybe, what would you say, 10 homes that are completely finished?
Yeah, if you're lucky.
If they were rich.
If it's lucky, yeah. If they had the money already in the bank to be able to take care of their home, it's done. That the majority of the people, what do you think? What do you say, about 80%, 90% of the people, they don't have money in the bank to take care of their homes. They're waiting on FEMA. They're waiting on insurance.
And I know we're getting off the subject of Survivor, but this is what we're going through right now.
Yeah.
You have
this is the real deal.
You have tons of people that's displaced just because it's been months. They have hundreds of homes in this. I'm just specifically talking about this one area that I'm doing a couple of homes in right now, and they have no homes are hardly even being worked on. So you have all these homes. People are selling their homes for pennies on the dollar because they just don't want to deal with it. Lost everything, not including we had one guy we did his home. He lost all his medals from World War II. He just got them out the attic to show someone. They were sitting in the living room, and then his house was flooded 8 foot. You know, and then you see all this donations from Red Cross and everything else, and then all of a sudden, you have everybody still struggling. Like, where's that? We got, I mean, I go on and on about that.
And then even older people, the elderly who have retired, they've had to sell their homes as is because they do not have the funds out of pocket to fix their homes. Like, some of them are not getting approved for FEMA and everything. And I remember when I was down there, I ran into a couple of people, one lady in particular who had just had a baby, couldn't even take her baby home.
Yeah, it's crazy.
She had to go to a hotel with her brand new baby.
So the reason
her home wasn't able to get fixed.
The reason I want to talk about that is because, you know, like right now we're doing 2 episodes. Usually we do 1 episode every week on the Survivor, and then sometimes we even throw in another episode of whatever. But you know, we're so strapped right now and so busy. I'm exhausted when I get home, exhausted, and I just flop in the bed. You know, so. That's the reason. That's what's going on here. You know, with our patrons, some of them are leaving. A lot of them are staying, and I appreciate that. You know, keep listening to the podcast because we ain't going anywhere. Soon we're going to be able to get right back where we left off,
Right.
you know, and get this going
we're in the
again.
process of making improvements, too. You know, me and Mike have been talking and trying to come up with some new ideas, too, for when everything gets back to normal. I have some new things for the patrons.
All right. I had to get another place. I'm in a totally different place right now. So, you know, it's affected everybody. So that's where we're at there. Anyway, so now with Survivor.
Survivor.
Right.
Yeah.
This tribal council was the best all season. By far.
Was it? Oh, my God.
I'm going to let you guess my favorite part.
Your favorite part of Tribal?
What was my favorite part? What do you think my favorite part was?
Well, I know it's not my favorite part.
Well, you have people out there screaming about what my, because they know.
Maybe you're. Maybe you're. I don't know. I don't know if it's where everybody's whispering for each other.
No,
that's
happened.
Who is going to go, or so that's not it. That's not
No,
it.
not even close.
Is it? Oh, I know it's not Chrissy's phase because.
It's when Mike throws that idol in the fire.
Oh, was it really?
Hell yeah! I was like, BAM! and Lauren's face. Now, what was Lauren?
Poor Lauren.
It was a rock.
Oh.
It was okay. First of all, she found the rock at her feet. It was a rock, just a rock. Mm-hmm. Why did she give? Why did she give Mike the real rock?
I know.
Why don't she give him a fake rock?
Oh, I don't know. I
And
thought
then
she was smarter than that. I was
she
so
started.
disappointed.
She started making. She's been playing well, but she started making some very bad moves at the end of it all, and that's what bit her in the ass. You know, and like giving him the fake rock or giving him anything at all. You need to play that thing.
Squat. She shouldn't give him squat.
No, he's not even part of her alliance. And she hands him an idol. It's like JT giving a guy named Russell Hantz the idol that's a villain. You know?
I would love to know what her thought process was. What do you think she was thinking when she did that?
She was thinking that I'm going to give him this idol for his loyalty. That's what she was thinking. But when he got to tribal, so he gets the tribal and he says he's been wanting to do this for 15 years. He throws that rock.
15 years.
He throws that rock in the fire. And then I was thinking, you know what I thought? I was like, go get it. Go get it. If it was me, production would have.
Dive in and get it.
Oh, production would have been out of control because they don't want you diving in the fire. And this is And this isn't a wood fire, people. This is a man-made propane fire. But I swear to you, I would have dove in there and I wouldn't have dove in the fire, but I would have got that idol. I I would have seen it. I would have got a stick. I would have grabbed it. I'd have did something. I would have got that idol
Well,
right
I'm
up.
surprised she did it.
When Jeff would have said,
probably would have done it.
when Jeff would have said, anybody want to play an idol? I'd been like, hold up. Hold up. I got the string, and now all I need is the rock. Because she had the string.
Oh, good.
But I like how production is making it to where the idols look fake.
Oh, that was the most pitiful looking idol.
It was a rock, and then she just put it on her knee when she found it. Like, oh, la, la, la. It's a rock. Like she was playing with a rock, like you would do just when you're waiting.
Yeah.
So,
That was terrible.
yeah. I don't know.
But I did, I did enjoy the tribal though between between Ben and Lauren going at each other, which was entertaining, and then everybody conversing with each other during tribal. I was like, man, I was seriously the first time in this season on the edge of my seat. I was eager to see who they were going to vote out. Was
And
it Ben or
finally-
was it Lauren? Because I truly did not know. But then I remembered, well, damn, Ben has that idol, so if he plays it, he's definitely not going home. So I started thinking, is he going to play the idol? So I was seriously on the edge of my seat. The first time this whole season, I was curious to see who was going to go home.
And Ben somebody finally plays an idol that actually helps him. Finally, and I don't know how many seasons.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I have not even thought about that.
So
Not
it
like
finally
that.
helped him, and there was one name on the paper. One.
Mm-hmm.
That means everybody. That means next episode, everybody knows that. I mean, Ben knows that everybody voted for him.
Right?
go
How
home.
awkward.
You would think
Go
that
back
he
to
would go
camp,
home
back to
next.
camp. Yeah. No, I'm excited for the next episode. I really am. I'm excited for the next episode just to see how everybody interacts with each other once they get back to camp.
Right.
Are they gonna? Is Ryan gonna put on? Who's gonna put on the fake facade? Or is anybody? Or is Ben gonna be kind of like in the corner by himself?
I don't know, but the three that me and I had Holly on earlier, and we chose 3 people that we thought were going to get to the end. My 3 still there. I thought it would be Chrissy, Mike, and the girl. I don't know if it's
Ashley.
Ashley. Yeah, Ashley. I keep forgetting
I
her
don't
name
even
for
know
some
who
reason.
mine are right now. Because this game's kind of, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the players are playing on emotion about, I think, like Chrissy. Chrissy definitely is, I think.
She
She's
is.
really gunning for Ben.
She definitely
gunning
played.
for Ben.
But look,
her not taking him.
But she did the right thing, and she voted with. No, she didn't vote. She voted against Ben. Yeah.
I know.
Still,
I know.
to try to get out Lauren.
I know it.
So she's still playing on emotions. So I don't. That's her style. That's who she is. She's the perfect case of a bitter jury. If she if she gets voted out or whatever, she will not vote for who should win the game. If she gets to the end, then she's lucky because the person that played the best so far would be Ben. And I'm surprised at Devin too. Devin's playing this game too, and Ashley.
He
They
is.
I mean, they're all really trying to play. Yeah, I see
Right, and they're
some.
learning.
Yeah, I see some gameplay happening with these people here. All of them are
Right.
really trying their best.
Right, and I love seeing how everybody's like developing their own game.
Right.
I am. But like, and I hate to say it, I truly hope Chrissy does not make it to the final 3, but I'm afraid she is. And that just turns my stomach.
Why don't you like her so much?
I've never seen a season. I've never
But why?
watched it.
Tell
and
me
I've
why.
seen every single season. She's controlling bitch.
Did she turn you down for a loan or something? Because I didn't like her from the get-go, remember? Because of what she did for a living.
I didn't either, but just she's so full of herself. She is so full of herself.
Yeah.
And I just can't stand it. It's just the thought of her going to Final Three turns my stomach. I can't stand it.
So you're going to hate it if she wins.
Out of every... I've never had a season that I've rooted so strongly for somebody to not make it to Final Three than I have this year.
Do you know the very first
episode,
it was out of her and the Olympic athlete who was going to go home? Very first episode.
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
I don't want her to make it.
She probably wouldn't like you either. So
she definitely would not like me. She would not like me. She would definitely be the type to try to steamroll me.
I don't know.
I just know it.
Okay.
I know it.
All right, Karyl, we appreciate the thoughts on these 2 episodes. And we hope you guys understand our little delay. And we appreciate you listening to the show. Become a patron and get more content and bonus episodes, including video commentary of every episode of Survivor Samoa, weekly episodes of Whining with Wine, and you can become a patron for as low as $5. $5 gets you Russell's Alliance, $10 and you become a game changer, $25 and you're a legend. Go to patreon.com/RussellHance.